maybe the town of Center. Guy, you may just be south of this and then toward the town of Jerome. So pointing out just a couple of the small towns across Howard County that's in the path of this dangerous storm right now. Arcadia to Cicero, south into Boone County. We still are keeping a close eye on this intense storm that is near Whitestown and Zionsville, prompting severe thunderstorm warnings for Hamilton County, Marion County, also parts of Boone County. And now that we're under a tornado watch until 9 p.m., depending on the community, when we have a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado watch at the same time, the sirens may sound. So Marion County, Hamilton County, Boone County, don't be surprised if that is the case. Sean, we still have all eyes on that intense storm in Kokomo now. Yeah, a couple of things I want to point out. Unfortunately, we're getting debris from the radar now. So we saw that earlier with a tornado. And so what you're seeing on your monitor there, it's like a donut hole, and so the radar, as opposed to picking up rain droplets, it's depicting debris that's been lofted from what could be a rather large tornado. Okay, our crew was showing a pretty ominous sign there. They had to seek shelter. This is now likely crossing 31. I'm going to put the more traditional radar view. We've got an extension of the tornado warning. It does include you in Greentown, by the way, and perhaps this is more than likely now on the east side of Kokomo. Okay, we've got crews up there, so we will be able to assess the damage if there is any damage, and I suspect there is. We will be able to assess the damage rather quickly once this can move far enough that our crew can get out. In the interim, here's what we need. We need you along 31 and 35. You should have been in your safe spots a long time ago. Greentown, you still have some time. Unfortunately, this storm doesn't seem like it's losing rotation. In fact, it's still rather intense. So I'm going to put another track on this. I'm going to zoom the radar out a bit so we can show the eastern portion of Howard County. I want to do a real quick track. Angela has some new information, but here's what we're thinking. If it holds due east, Greentown by 3:37, so you have less than 10 minutes, lowest level, away from windows, basement if you got it. If you have a bicycle helmet, get that on. Protect your head. Angela. Sean, new information. National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning for southwestern Hamilton, southeastern Boone, northeastern Hendricks, and northwestern Marion until 4 p.m. So this is a new tornado warning. Southwestern Hamilton, southeastern Boone, northeastern Hendricks, and northwestern Marion County until 4 p.m. These two cells that we've been tracking, one to the northwest of Indianapolis, the other in Kokomo, have a history of damage, have a history of reports of tornado, and at least the one we saw in Kokomo from our crew there, a tornado in progress. Please take these storms seriously. Sean, you've got an update on the towns that will be in the path of this storm that prompted the new warning. There's the one in Kokomo. This cell is moving toward Greentown. Take precautions now. This is the storm coming out of southeast Boone County, Zionsville, Traders Point, down the road, Chesterton, Meridian Hills. But Sean, you've got a really good vantage point of this storm, and it is a new tornado warning, including Marion County. Yeah, a couple of things I want to point out with this. This new warning is a radar indicated, whereas opposed to Howard County, that's a confirmed tornado. So there's a little bit of a difference. Doesn't mean that this won't tornado and spin up. I just want to mark that difference here. So let's put a track on this, roughly at 30 miles per hour. The rotation on the radar for the time being, just west-northwest of Brownsburg. So we put a path on this, and we're going to move it generally east. So Brownsburg in less than 10 minutes, okay? Claremont at 3:46, and you're now looking at one of our tower cams looking at direction. If it were to hold together, Broad Ripple at 4:05. So now we have multiple tornado warnings, one of which includes the northern suburbs of Indianapolis. That is a radar indicated tornado. So while we're focusing on that, we have to work back up because very strong, and if not likely, we still, until we can get noted otherwise, that this is still in progress east of Kokomo. So this is a multifaceted storm coverage that we're bringing you here. Kokomo, the threat
is on the east side, Greentown and near Howard. The threat is really ramping up. In Vermont, it's probably on top of you right now. So can't stress enough and hope that you have sought shelter. And I had some folks tweeting me, Angela, of some damage reports coming out of Kokomo. So we've got crews up there that will kind of assess the damage here very, very shortly. But tornado warning and still radar, by radar indication, this still is on the ground heading toward Greentown. Angela.
And Sean, we are getting reports now of that tornado near 300 and State Road 22 just east of Kokomo. Here's the line of storms that we're tracking. Tornado in progress. We saw this with our crews near Kokomo. They had to take shelter. They're going to let this cell pass them by and then get us the latest information on any damage to the town of Kokomo. But it's this storm here, and latest from the newsroom is 300 and State Road 22 just east of Kokomo, and that's going to put it pretty near the town of Center, at least approaching Center, near the towns of Vermont. So now east of 31, near 35. So if you are familiar with some of these county roads or state roads, 31 obviously the main thoroughfare through Howard County and the town of Kokomo, it is now kind of tracking off to the east. So in this path would be Vermont, and then a little farther south of 35. So we encourage you to be in the safest part of your home, away from windows and doors. Basically the eastern half of Howard County, the tornado warning continues for you as we continue to see a clear indication on radar of a tornado in progress, and we've actually had some pictures and reports out in the field in Howard County as well. We're also concerned with this storm coming out of Whitestown. As Sean pointed out, radar indicated, but approaching Zionsville, approaching Traders Point, if it would hold together Chesterton, Meridian Hills. So this tornado warning includes northwestern Marion, southwestern sections of Hamilton County, southeastern Boone, and the northeastern sections of Hendricks County. So some of the bigger towns, I'd say from Brownsburg to Whitestown to about Westfield to the north side of Indianapolis, kind of in that box. I would take precautions. Let this storm get by you. At this point, it's radar indicated, but this cell has a history of damage as it moved across parts of Montgomery County near the town of New Ross, and we also had damage reported in the town of Lindsborg. So what's turning out to be a very active afternoon. In addition to the two cells under tornado warnings, eastern half of the state from Indianapolis east, we are under a tornado watch until 9 p.m. Want to get you a closer view, and I know Sean's got the latest analysis on this storm. That again, tornado in progress, we think just now east of Kokomo, just east of 31, Greentown, Jerome, West Liberty, Vermont, Guy, Center, Indian Heights. I'd say anywhere east of Kokomo in Howard County along and south of 35. Please take this storm seriously. Really some scary pictures, Sean, coming out of Howard County.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, let's just phrase it for what it's been phrased as a destructive tornado that moved through the city of Kokomo, now east of the city now, but cities that we gave you fair warning, and let's just hope and pray that everyone's in their safe locations to minimize any injuries here. Vermont, this thing's going to cut right across 850 east, probably, if not over Greentown, just to the north. Too close to call right now in the city of Greentown. You have to be in your safe location, and Plevna, and eventually, as it works over toward Swayze. John, you've got some information, sir?
Yeah, I do have some information for you. We have some pictures actually to show you right now. This is a tornado on the ground in Kokomo. This was sent to us by a viewer. That viewer is Aaron Lifford, and we're going to just take a look at this now as it goes by. There you see pictures of a tornado on the ground in Kokomo. Now we're not sure where this is relative to the center of the city, although you were talking earlier about the area of concern, the intersection of 31 and 35. That would be pretty much in the center of town, maybe just a little bit off to the east of the center of town. but these are pictures just into us, a large, dangerous tornado on the ground in Kokomo. And you also saw some pictures from our crew. Those were from a little bit farther away, this a little bit closer. So it points up the advice we're giving to be safe. Don't get in the way of a tornado to try to get good pictures of it. Please keep yourself safe. That's the #1 priority. And if you're in that area of Vermont and on out toward Greentown along Route 35, it's time to shelter in place and get ready because that storm is definitely on the ground. Sean?
Yeah, thank you, John. I appreciate that. So let's, again, Eastern Howard County, if you're east of Kokomo, you have to be in the lowest level of your structure, away from windows, okay? We also have another tornado warning. This one is radar indicated. That's a big difference from what's happening up in Howard County. We know that is in progress, but I've got people that are asking, sirens going off. There's rotation around Brownsburg right now, and we'll come very close to Speedway, Broad Ripple, and Zionsville. Now, whether or not this thing actually becomes a tornado, can't tell you that, but it's showing rotation, okay? So in your safe spots until otherwise noted, and this tornado warning will continue, and we're getting an update on that particular warning, and that will go until 4 p.m. Again, continues to be radar indicated, and the rotation of the storm very near Brownsburg. So what we'll do is we'll put a path on this as this particular storm is moving toward the east, you know, give or take about 20 or 25 miles per hour. So we'll get some areas of concern. And if you're in that flashing polygon, and that would include you in Speedway, that would include you in Mapleton, as well as Traders Point, and Nora, and Zionsville, you need to be in your safe location until this particular cell can move toward your east. So we'll put a path on this for the next half hour to our northwest. Our tower cameras can certainly give us a vantage point of that eventually. But let's do a path with the rotation that's over Brownsburg, and we'll put it out you know, for the next 40 minutes. If it were to hold together the rotation, by the way, Butler University at 4:05, Broad Ripple at 7 minutes after 4 o'clock, and as mentioned, it's kind of rotating over Brownsburg right now. So that is the latest on that particular storm. I want you to stay very alert. Northern Marion County, I don't want you dropping your guard, as well as Hancock County. This is to our west. This thing may try to pivot and work down into the city of Indy too. So just because you're not necessarily in that polygon, we need to be pay very close attention. So from there, I want to work back up to the north and get an update from an analysis standpoint. You can see, let's look at the radar, still showing rotation with this. Very close to Greentown, Angela, just to the east of Kokomo, where unfortunately we have had some damage.
And speaking of damage, that cell you were just analyzing that's now near Brownsburg with that rotation that's prompted the new tornado warning that does include parts of Marion and Hamilton counties, Hendricks and southeastern Boone, got a viewer report, and this came from just south of Crawfordsville, and actually we had indications of some storm spotter activity just southeast of Crawfordsville, where this storm, we think, initially started showing signs of rotation. Reporting damage just south of Crawfordsville on Ladoga Road, and that was one road when we started our coverage that Sean was mentioning. About some bean fields that were flattened, tops of trees broken off, and some farm damage to a grain bin and the roof of a barn. So maybe we can pass that information on to the newsroom as well. This coming just south of Crawfordsville near Ladoga Road, bean fields flattened, tops of trees broken off, some farm damage to a grain bin and the roof of a barn. What you're seeing on live Doppler 13 radar is the storm that is now making its way into Zionsville and Traders Point. We're starting to hear rumbles of thunder in downtown Indianapolis, and a pretty good indication here, Sean, of that cell you were just analyzing now near Brownsburg.
Yeah. In fact, as someone just tweeted me a picture, Angela, of a funnel over Brownsburg. Okay, so it wasn't on the ground from what I saw, but that could certainly change at the moment's notice. So we need you in your safe locations: Brownsburg, Claremont Heights, 38th, and let's put it near Country Road. You need to go ahead and get into your safe shelter at this point in time. West of Brownsburg, at least with this particular storm, there's no threat of a tornado right now. But even in downtown Indy, you need to stay on top of this, as this thing may try to turn more toward the southeast. But we do have, someone just sent me a picture of a funnel cloud over Brownsburg, and that's going to come probably cut right across 267 over 74 and on the northwest side of Indianapolis. So this tornado warning will continue at least for another 20 minutes. I wouldn't be stunned at all to see if this gets extended in time. And maybe to encompass areas a little bit farther to the east. So east siders of Indy, downtown Indy, Fishers, Carmel, you are not out of the woods with this one. And we still have a tornado in progress to the east of Kokomo. And I'm showing you where you see that again. If you're just tuning into our coverage, we've been on for quite a while now. So just to refresh your memory, and the legend says outbound. That means wind blowing away from the radar. Green is toward the radar. Where they're next to each other, it's like taking your hand with a pencil. It picks up the very tight rotation. So potential tornado there. Now east of Kokomo, it's past Howard, I should say, past 31. And this is lifting up toward the, almost kind of taking more of an east-northeast jog. So that's why the tornado warning has been expanded to encompass that. So Converse, you can see it clearly there. It sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the potential tornado there, north of 35, but still close enough that Greentown you need to be in your safe location. John, let's go ahead. I think we have some new video coming in, partner. We do, Sean. Thank you. This is taken by viewer Rob Moss, and you can see the tornado in this video. Let's see if we can put that up there and show it to you right now. This is the tornado. A large tornado in the city of Kokomo, and you can see the lightning affecting that as well. This is video when this tornado was west of the city as it moved across the city. We're getting increasing reports of damage and pictures coming in on social media of tree limbs down and of other buildings being damaged. We are continuing to monitor this for you in our newsroom. We have crews on the scene too as we pull this all together, and we will continue to watch it and bring you more damage as it comes in. Ange? And John, those are some unfortunate pictures coming to us from Kokomo. This is live Doppler 13 radar. At this point, keeping a close eye on two distinct cells. One now east of Kokomo that we know, at least from pictures and video, that produced a tornado in Kokomo. The other one is near the town of Brownsburg, tracking east. It's 3:43 on a Wednesday afternoon. Kids may be heading home from school. In these areas that are impacted, don't be surprised if they're delayed. Oftentimes, school systems will hold students until the severe weather passes. And speaking of severe weather, we are still tracking this cell with significant rotation. This is coming out of Greentown, approaching Swayze. We think if this one is still on the ground or a tornado still in progress, it is going to be near Greentown or just north of Greentown along 35. So please take shelter, and I'm going to adjust this view for you in just a second. To the south we go into parts of Hamilton and Marion counties. This storm coming out of Brownsburg is now making its way toward Meridian Hills and Spring Hills. We've got heavy rain and dangerous lightning over Traders Point at this point, and we continue to monitor at least that potential for rotation near and just east of Brownsburg that will be tracking along Interstate 74. We have this storm and additional cells that are developing back west across parts of the western part of our viewing area. But Sean, at this point, keeping a very close eye on two distinct cells, one that is now in the eastern sections of Howard County. Swayze, Weaver, you would be in the path of this one as it begins to track east, and the additional storm that is now across the eastern sections of Hendricks County, northwestern parts of Marion County. And I do want to let you know, Sean, that I did get some video of golf ball size hail near Fishback Creek. Okay, yeah, and monitoring some of the chat information coming out of Kokomo and east of Kokomo. Unfortunately, we're getting reports of some rather significant damage. So we have a crew up in Howard County. We will continue to provide updates on that. Let's take care of business. I've had several different pictures sent to me around Brownsburg of a funnel cloud. So this thing could tornado at any time. It's radar indicated tornado warning, but I want you in your safe location, Claremont, just east of Brownsburg. And if you're in this red polygon, and that includes Pike and includes Broad Ripple, you need to be in your safe location until this storm can move to the east. I want to kind of back the radar up just a little bit just to kind of get a hint of how this thing's moving, and it almost east-southeast. We'll put it at about 25 miles per hour. So I'm going to do a storm path on this. If you're watching us, and so we've got that, what you're seeing now, that's our crew on the northwest side of Indy. And Phil, please let them know they need to not go too far to the northwest, all right? We'll take the rotating portion of this storm. That puts it near Pike in roughly 10 minutes, if it holds at 30. Rocky Ripple at 406, so the speed of the storm could change a little bit, but the idea is that if you're in that, you're downstream of Brownsburg. If you're in Brownsburg, you need to be in your safe spot, but if you're downstream, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. The sirens are likely going off in Zionsville. Leave that shot up, if you will, and we'll continue to see. They'll probably drive out of that rain, but just let them know I would probably go, as opposed to going too far northwest, they may want to go a little to the west-southwest, or, you know, I wouldn't go much farther northwest than Speedway. Let them know that. On the radar screen that you see there, so I don't want to, this has been unfortunately a tornado earlier that did damage in the town of Kokomo, east of Kokomo. Okay, so there you go. I saw that in the chat room, and I wanted to wait till we could confirm that. That is a flattened, it's a live look that you see there from a flattened Starbucks. All right, so that's going to take a rather healthy tornado to do that type of damage. So that's our crew live there. So with that said, we're still getting some radar indication that this thing is still a potential tornado. Now, the rotation, by the way, for you folks that have stayed with us in Greentown, it is to your north, near Plevna, but heads up in Converse, heads up in Sweetser, and Swayze. This is still showing some radar indication. And what I mean by that, we look at the radar, the wind velocity, so take it full. There you go. So we are looking at this live. Yeah, that's Starbucks there. That is, Phil, can you say that's east of Kokomo? All right. Near the mall in Kokomo. All right, so we were looking at these live pictures with you for the first time.
Hey, Sean, that's probably pretty close to 31. Don't quote me on that, okay. But if it is near the mall, that's going to be pretty close to 31.
Roger that, yeah. So tornado continues for that northeastern. So now we're getting trees and homes. Guys, I tell you, let's still split box if we can. That's okay if you want to leave, if you want to put the damage up, but we got to, by all accounts, this thing is still producing a tornado for the northeastern corner of Howard County, going to work into Miami perhaps, the southeastern corner of Miami and Grant County. So if you're in Marion, you're technically under this tornado warning, and if you're just tuning into coverage here before 4 o'clock, what you're seeing is live damage pictures and search and rescue underway at a Starbucks that's been flattened in Kokomo from Angela, by all accounts, what one point was a large destructive tornado.
And Sean, what we hope is, if you notice, obviously that was the front part of that Starbucks that was basically flattened, but the rear, perhaps where the bathrooms were, there appears to be at least some part of that still standing. Hopefully everyone got to the back of this Starbucks if anybody was in this building, because you can see where there were windows, there were doors completely flattened, and this is a Starbucks in Kokomo. New video coming to us into the newsroom. If we can split that damage with me and Live Doppler 13 radar, I'm going to get you caught up on where this storm is now, because we want to make sure that people that are east of Kokomo know what is moving their way. So we're going to go up along 31 to show you the storm that is now east of Kokomo, and this gives us a pretty good idea that the cell is now east of 31, approaching Interstate 69. If still producing a tornado, it is going to be right along the county line or just west of the county line. So we're coming out of Kokomo and then headed toward Gas City and Interstate 69. This is a close-up close-up view of this cell, and this is near the town of Normal, up towards Swayze, approaching Gas City. And I didn't look to see if they extended the warning, but it's this cell here coming out of Greentown, Sean, that did that destruction.
Yeah, and we also have, what I want you guys to do, just hang with me here. So we've got, I'm noticing a wall cloud, at the very least a wall cloud on our tower cam here. As that's the storm that's prompted the tornado warning. You can see the base of the storm. No doubt about that. I've had multiple pictures sent to me several minutes ago from Brownsburg. This is now east of Brownsburg. So this, if you're in Speedway, all right, if you're in Winedale, rotation very near you, okay? Doesn't mean it's going to tornado, because this is right now this is, and hopefully it stays that way, this is a radar indicated tornado, but this has produced multiple funnel clouds. And then what I'm looking at back here, I can definitely see the wall cloud with this particular storm. So whoever's running, tell them whoever's running the camera, if they can pan it to the right, as I see Eskenazi there, let's kind of pan this thing to the right just a little bit, and we'll keep tabs on that as, okay, that's fine. So we, I want you in your safe location, Speedway, as well as Snacks and Pike. You need to be in your safe location as the tornado warning continues for Boone, portions of Boone and Hamilton and Hendricks. If you live in Northwest, if you're Pittsboro and Jamestown, the threat for you is over. If you live in Speedway, if you live in downtown Indy, I think you're still very, very much in play. This thing is going almost due east. So I don't want to completely take downtown out of this particular storm. It's in an environment where it is going to rotate, and this thing could tornado here at any time. So we will watch both live Doppler 13 radar, and we're going to watch our tower cam, because it's giving us a unique vantage point of this. And yeah, I'm fine. Oh, that one's it's kind of caught in between where our cameras can pivot to. But tornado warning, we may get an extension on this, Angela, and unfortunately, as we have had, if you're tuning in, so we were just shy of 4 o'clock, we've had some rather extensive damage up in Hamilton County, and we still have a tornado warning with this particular storm that continues for far eastern Hamilton. John, you have something?
I do.
Yes,
we're going to go back to that Starbucks in Kokomo, and our sports reporter Rich Nye is there right now. Rich, what are you seeing at that location?
Well, John, it's incredible, the destruction of this Starbucks coffee shop here behind me. And right now, Kokomo firefighters will try to move in just a little bit closer, but stay at a safe distance. Kokomo firefighters just now breaking in this door at the back of this Starbucks. We're not sure if there might still be customers or employees who were inside. We just arrived on the scene. This tornado touched down here at the Markland Mall in Kokomo, right on the 931 bypass at about 3:30 this afternoon. We happen to be in Kokomo covering an event at the Kokomo Speedway, a celebration of life for the driver Brian Clausen, who died in an accident a couple weeks ago. That brought us to Kokomo today, and that's why we were here. And as you can see, firefighters just now gaining entry to the back of this Starbucks shop. Rob, if you'll follow me, let's walk around and show them just how immense the damage is. This Starbucks was basically blown down here in Kokomo this afternoon. This gives you a view of the front of this Starbucks coffee shop. And if Rob will then look across the street, you can see that there are trees down, limbs blown off, roofs blown off homes on the other side of 931 here in Kokomo. And this Starbucks coffee shop obviously is a complete loss and complete destruction. Doesn't seem to be any urgency now at the back of the Starbucks. So we're not sure if anyone is still inside the Starbucks coffee shop, but investigators, police, firemen just now gaining entry to the back of that brick structure, which stood up at the back of the coffee shop. That held up during this tornado, but the front of the store completely destroyed. You see right here in the front, what was the storefront is gone. And as you look around this Markland Mall, it seems to be pretty spotty in this area. Looks like it touched down here, went across the street, and then may have lifted not too much farther. There's no damage to this direction. There is damage across the street Angela, we'll continue to follow this and have more for you as we get more information.
Rich and I thank you very much for your report, and really an unfortunate situation ongoing in Kokomo. The pictures really devastating coming from along 31 that's near the old mall area in Kokomo. And unfortunately, I have a feeling we're going to see more pictures like that. Sean has kind of given us a close-up view because we want to alert you. The National Weather Service has issued a new tornado warning. This is going to include southeastern Hamilton, northwestern Hancock, and Marion County. All of Marion County now under a tornado warning until 4:45. Got a tweet that IPS may be holding students that are left at school.
Yeah,
confirmation on that? Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure. And rightfully so. This is a dangerous storm, and we just saw the pictures coming to us from Howard County and Kokomo. These cells have that capability of producing destruction, unfortunately, at this point. So what we're watching is this area near Speedway, just to the northwest of Indianapolis, Broad Ripple over toward Meridian Hills, into Traders Point and Brownsburg. This is an intensifying storm, Sean, that has prompted a new tornado warning until 4:45, and it does include all of Marion County.
Yeah, it includes all of Marion County, and my wife just texted me. That's why I know about IPS.
Okay.
She's at our daughter's school, and they're holding everybody. So if you have kids in IPS system, I can tell you that for good reason they are going to hold them in place. We got a potential touchdown near Eagle Creek, okay? And we're watching this both on our tower cam, which is going to give us a vantage point of that to the west-northwest. That's why I told you a few minutes ago I did not want to take downtown Indy out of play with this. At the very least, we still have funnel clouds. I've had several of those tweeted to me from Brownsburg. But we've got a tornado warning that will continue for downtown Indy, and this is going to go for at least until 4:45. This storm is not a very quick mover. What I want to do, I'm going to put a track on the potential rotation, which is not far from Speedway and near Eagle Creek area. All right, so we're going to track this out at about 25 miles per hour. And we'll take it out for the next 45 minutes, which would encompass the length of the particular tornado warning right now. And whoever's back there, please keep tabs on the tower cam for me, because we may eventually start to see this thing show up on our tower cam. So here's the deal. Near Crawfordsville Road, out like this. Now I'm just doing on the rotation, kind of east-northeast. So if this trajectory were hold, within 10 minutes near Butler University, over Speedway, we've got the state fairgrounds in place. And again, I can't stress enough, I'm not going to take downtown Indy, but if you live anywhere within central and northern Marion County, hopefully you heeded what we told you a little while ago. You need to be in your safe locations until this, it could tornado at any point in time. And we have had, at the very least, we've had some reports of a funnel clouds. I know that for sure. And we've got, as we look toward the west, so we're looking at the ETAs here. We've got our vantage point from our tower cam. We got multiple tower cams on this, and it's kind of in between our two tower cams. Now, the shot that you're looking at there right now is more north of northwest, but that will be a shot to keep tabs on, as this thing may pass right in front of it. I can definitely see a lowering base there. If we were to have a tornado, it would be off your screen. We're trying to reposition our other camera to see if we can get a better vantage point, but we will continue to monitor that. I've just been told they've lost some power in Broad Ripple. That's not too surprising, and I appreciate those reports. And so we've got multiple tornado warnings, one coming in a very highly populated area into an atmospheric environment, by the way, that is suitable. I was hitting this up a little earlier ago, shortly during our noon show and shortly after, that we were starting to see some signs of rotating storms. So tornado warning for Marion County, including downtown Indianapolis at this point in time. So Indy, Wayne Speedway, Winedale, State Fairgrounds need to be in the safe location right now. I'm not seeing the strong radar signatures that we had earlier that produced a tornado in Montgomery County and that produced the rather extensive damage in Howard County. But we definitely have a storm that's rotating that could produce a tornado at any point in time. So that's why the tornado warning will continue until 4:45. And I mentioned Hancock County. So again, I want to do a storm track. Okay, and so what you're looking at there on the right side, that is friends and family. Those are Starbucks workers that were rescued. That we had a flattened Starbucks in Kokomo, and so we have crews that are gathering the damage pictures and then the search and rescue that's underway, and thankfully those folks were able to walk out of the building, and I hope we can say that for everyone that was there. We will continue to monitor. I still want to, Angela, I'm going to do a track on this storm. It's not moving too terribly fast, so that's going to give us a little leadway to warn some folks here. Let me turn off the label. So again, we're talking the rotation very close to Butler University, and that tower cam shot again showing the leading edge of the storm base. So we'll follow that closely too.
And those are times of arrival. So 4:40, give or take a few minutes, McCordsville, just before 5, Fortville, Greenfield, you wouldn't be in the path just after 5 p.m. My kids go to Hamilton Southeastern, a little older than the elementary school, so mine are home, but the elementary school, we did get a message that they are holding children and students, and I would imagine that's the case for several school districts. We heard from Sean and his family that IPS is holding, and that is the right thing to do. If we can go from this vantage point, and this gives us a really good idea of where this storm is going to go next. Butler University in basically now. The fairgrounds in a couple of minutes. McCordsville, Fortville, Greenfield. So looks like it's going to track across the eastern sections of Marion, perhaps stay just south of Fishers, but we did get reports into the newsroom, sirens going off in Fishers, and that makes complete sense because you are under part of this tornado warning. Let's go to live Doppler 13 radar, and we're basically going to go from north to south. This is the cell that caused all of that damage in Kokomo. We saw the flattened Starbucks, and thankfully we saw a lot of people standing outside that, hugging one another. We've got a crew on the scene trying to gather the latest information, and obviously we're praying everyone in that area is safe. That cell has now moved east and is approaching Gas City, so we continue to keep a close eye on this. They did extend the tornado warning to include parts of Grant County. As we push south, this is the storm that we have eyes on right now, with the potential for rotation that is coming now just east of Speedway. This kind of gives you an entire view of Marion County, and Sean's going to go in even closer to show where we think this cell is rotating, and it's going to be the area just east of Speedway, approaching Spring Hills, and is that Clinton or Clifton there, just east of Flackville, so a couple of the smaller communities northwest of Indianapolis. And if this one is producing a tornado or is still rotating, it's going to be in this area here, near and just southeast of Broadmoor. Sean, you did a really good job kind of analyzing where this is right now.
Yeah, and you can see that tower cam shot next to you is looking due north. Wow, I mean that is something you might see a little farther out in the Central Plains. That is the storm base, all right? And we are going to focus on this because that is looking in the direction that I was looking at on live Doppler 13 radar of where this thing could, if it did, not seeing it necessarily, but if it did, it's going to be in that area. So that's going to be very near the Crown Hill Cemetery. If you live around that area, hopefully you've had the fair enough warning that you've already been in your safe location. If not, you need to be in there. This thing could produce a tornado at some point. So we watch that closely. I've circled it on the left there. So crossing 65 near Crown Hill Cemetery. I'll zoom in a little bit tighter, and that we're starting to see a hook on our live radar. This is the only live TV radar in Indianapolis. You need to stay with us. We're going to get a new scan here very soon. I'm going to put it near Clifton, Crown Hill, Mapleton, right in this zone, 42nd Street perhaps, and Winedale. Also, we're monitoring multiple storms. Swayze, you should have been in your safe spot a while ago. If you're watching us in Marion, we haven't forgot about you. You are under a tornado warning. Likewise in Weaver, you need to be in your safe location. We're seeing rotation with the same cell that produced the tornado in in Howard County, in Kokomo. So we're watching that. We're watching multiple storms here, and we've got two vantage points with the one now that's moving through the central portion of Marion County. It's north of downtown. In fact, if you want, take the tower cam full, okay? And so basically what you're looking at, you can see there's Eskenazi, and you can see Illinois and Meridian. Meridian Street's on the right there. Illinois is in the center of your screen. And it looks to me like there's a little bit perhaps of a lowering there, just a little bit on that cloud base. So we'll hold that shot. We're now, Angela, 7 minutes after 4 o'clock here. You can see there at the bottom, the IPS, they are holding the students. They are holding the students in place as this tornado warning continues for Marion County, and we will continue to monitor this. And we've got two vantage points. Again, live Doppler radar. Go ahead and put that back up. We're getting a brand new scan in. We can see it both ways here. We can see it from the tower cam and from our radar perspective. So there goes the sweep. That's live data that you're looking at, and that matches up exactly with the tower cam image that we're showing you. Do me a favor and put the other tower cam in if you could. Thank you, because that's the one that's looking north there. So we will watch. It would be, and it's possible that if we get anything touching down, it could be rain wrapped, okay? But that gives you two perspectives, from the radar and then from our tower cam. And let the camera operator know that at some point we're going to probably have to work with the storm if we can. So eventually we may have to kind of pan to the right a little bit. All right, so just been told that Hamilton Southeast also holding students. This polygon, a tornado warning polygon, includes McCordsville. And leave live up for a moment. Angela, you can talk over. I'm going to put a storm track on this as well.
Because live really gives us a good vantage point with obviously the tower cam, but also showing you where we're looking. And live Doppler 13 radar, if this one is rotating or was going to produce something, it is now approaching 31, or those of us in Marion County would better know this as Meridian Street. So just north of downtown, I'd say between downtown and Broad Ripple. Let's go Glendale, Flackville, Clifton, I'm sorry, Spring Hills, and then Broad Ripple, Millersville. This area, safest part of your home away from windows and doors, and really anywhere across Marion County, you are under the tornado warning until 4:45. So Marion County under a tornado warning until 4:45. And it appears the rotation now is approaching Meridian, staying just north of I-70 at this point. But this is a cell that we continue to track very closely, and I wouldn't be surprised to have all of the communities within this path, and that is going to include Fortville, McCordsville, Buck Creek, Warren, Lawrence, Broad Ripple, the city of Indianapolis, up to Nora, into Speedway, that students, especially elementary school students that are typically let out this time of day, to hold the students and let this bad weather pass, and let's get them home safely. John?
Yeah, if you're watching the weather develop, I'm taking a look at the aftermath here. I can now tell you that 13,000 people are without power now in central Indiana. And we spoke a little earlier with our sports reporter, Rich Nye. He is in Kokomo tonight outside of that Starbucks that we saw flattened near the Markland Mall. And he joins us now with a witness who saw that tornado touch down. Rich?
Yeah, John, it's turned into a pleasant afternoon in Kokomo, but the damage has been done here. This Starbucks behind us completely flattened. In fact, the emergency folks have left here because everyone's out safely, and they've gone across the street where they're now going house to house where there's damage in this neighborhood just to the east here of this Starbucks. Joining me is Brandon Mobley, who was in this Chili's. Rob, show them where the Chili's is, no more than 25, 30 yards away from the Starbucks, and you saw this tornado this afternoon. In fact, you videotaped it on your phone. What happened?
I got a little too close for comfort. Curiosity got the best of me, that's for sure. As the tornado got too close and I felt danger for my life, I ran back into the Starbucks. By then the freezers were locked and I was stuck out, so I stuck behind a bar and actually saw the store collapse. And as soon as it was safe to do so, I ran out, and there were people trapped in the bathrooms. Thankfully they were in there and not hurt, so me and 2 or 3 other guys managed to get the door hinges off and pop the doors out and get everybody out. So thankfully nobody around here was hurt, so hopefully everybody across the street's all right.
How would you describe what you saw?
It was hellish. It was scary. A lot worse than I thought it would be. You see it on the movies and you're like, oh, that's no big deal, stuff blowing around, but it was, I was scared.
Brandon, if you can, we're going to try to show this, folks, to you at home because the video is quite dramatic. I know there's probably going to be a pretty bad glare, but maybe you can get just a sense of what this looks like as you see the Starbucks toppling here at about 3:30 this afternoon in Kokomo. Brandon, if you just want to try to back that up and show it one more time. Brandon was inside the Chili's, again, just no more than 25, 50 yards away, and you see the Starbucks topple as this tornado came through the Markland Mall right on the bypass 931 in Kokomo. At Markland Mall, the Starbucks flattened, and again, this tornado then went across the street and has done serious damage to the neighborhood just to the east. We'll wrap it up from here, Robin, and get it back to the studio where you know the weather situation continues in central Indiana.
All right, thank you, Rich. Sean?
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate that, and thankful that everyone was able to walk out. So here's what's going on right now. We have a unique vantage point. Go ahead and pop up tower cam, okay? We have a tornado warning that continues for the northern half of Marion County, and whoever's operating, maybe tilt down a little bit so we can see more of the ground since the banner's kind of hiding it just a little bit. Thank you. So we're looking north. We're going to lose some of the base of the cloud due to the heavy rain. I can tell you that we've got some rotation, nothing confirmed, thankfully, and hopefully it stays that way, but rotation near Broad Ripple, okay, near Broad Ripple. So if you're in that area and our power is starting to flicker off here at the station, we've got some rotation over the central portion of Marion County, and not far from downtown either. So if you're around anywhere from Broad Ripple to downtown, broad area of rotation right now. And we've got some power outages. I know someone tweeted me from Broad Ripple of power outages. So we look north. Let's go ahead and split it back up again. I'm going to do some analysis here. I will tell you, east of Speedway, or I should say Speedway, you're okay. Speedway, you're okay. Far northwest, Pike, you're done. You're out with this particular storm. But anywhere from downtown toward the fairgrounds and then points toward the northeast. So we're talking Lawrence and Warren, still very much in play. Again, nothing confirmed. We've had multiple funnel cloud reports. We're looking at, basically, if you're just tuning in now, we've got tower cam on the right side looking north. You're going to see a lot of lightning strikes. I kind of look at this. We had a better vantage point of the storm base on this earlier. But we would look toward the ground if anything starts to pop down there, maybe a transformer, if anything would start to develop. And then you got live Doppler 13 radar on the other side of your screen. And in fact, if you guys can, I'm going to, let's go to our other live radar source.
Yeah, because we've got a couple really good close-up views of the storm that is now over Marion County. Yeah. Mentioned, Sean did, the rotation perhaps near Broad Ripple, so that's going to put it near north side of downtown Indianapolis, over toward Lawrence. So in this area, as Sean, you go street level, this is something that we're really concerned with, because based on the radar velocities, we've been detecting some slightly disorganized rotation near Broad Ripple, near the fairgrounds. So it's going to be in this area just north of downtown and now approaching northeast of downtown. So we're east of Meridian Street, near and just north of Interstate 70. So at this point, the rotation is staying north of downtown Indianapolis, but those velocities where easiest way to describe it, we've got a little red, little green close together. We've noticed some near the fairgrounds, near Broad Ripple, and we think that rotation now is starting to track east toward those of you in Lawrence. And Lawrence, you are under the tornado warning until 4:45 as we continue to kind of split the screens with the analyzing of where the rotation is south of Brendanwood, and now just east of Clifton. So just east of Meridian, just barely northeast of downtown Indianapolis. Sean?
Yeah, so that's kind of what your analysis is kind of spot on. I'd say let's keep live Doppler rolling, and you can keep one of our tower cams up if you want, though. We're kind of getting into the rain shield, so it's going to be difficult to see. But our live scan's giving us a perspective there. And I can tell you, I just got an update, so if you have kids in the IPS system, Hamilton Southeast as well, they are being held at the schools in their safe locations within the buildings. Now at this point, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. Thus far we haven't had confirmation just yet, and I continue to kind of monitor. I hopefully that will stay true. We're going to get a new scan on live Doppler 13 radar. There's still a little bit of a hook. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in a little closer on this hook here. So we're getting heavy rain right now. But on the northeast side, northeast of Indianapolis, so there's Millersville, there's 39th Street, and you can see 70 West. So the possibility that our radar may be detecting a little bit of a hook, which when I say hook, basically the rain is wrapping around a rotation and it causes that hook. And so what we would look for at this point would be something like this, okay? And then wrapping around like that. It is broad at this point in time, but we need you in your safe spots on the east side of Indy until we can give you further notice. And hopefully this thing will not produce, but we can't necessarily guarantee you that. And if you're also tuning in, we've unfortunately have had extensive damage in the town of Kokomo, and we do have crews up there too. So we are monitoring that situation. This tornado warning is in effect for the central and eastern portions of Marion County and western Hendricks. And so what we're doing, tell you what, go ahead and switch it real well. Stay there. We got our live scan coming back in. So yeah, I tell you what, Lawrence, we've got a hook not too far from your southwest. All right, so McCordsville, Lawrence, and just north of Warren Park there, we've got a hook showing up on our live radar, the only live radar here in Indianapolis TV market to give you, protect your family. Now, okay, so my producer's telling me 21st and Ritter, possible report of a tornado. Okay, so
that's going to put it near east side.
Yep, near east side. So that's right in our hook. That's the advantage of live Doppler 13 radar. That's very near the hook, and that would coincide with what we were thinking, Angela.
Okay, so if you live in this area, so really all of you in Marion County need to be in the safest part of your home, but Sean had a close-up view that's going to be anywhere from Benton House to Warren Park to Lawrence, and then anywhere east of there, Cumberland, that's going to include you, Mount Comfort, that's also going to include you. Be in the safest part of your home. This one does have a history of rotation. I was checking some of the social media, and there have been some funnel cloud pictures coming out of Marion County with this cell that seems to have wrapped up a little more. Latest scan with live Doppler 13 radar still showing a pretty good hook, as Sean pointed out, in this area approaching Lawrence. So here is I-70 coming out of downtown Indianapolis. Here is the 465 loop, and there is 36, better known as Pendleton Pike. So in this area is where we think the rotation is with this latest storm that has prompted the tornado warning, and that tornado warning for Marion County continues until 4:45. I've had some folks reach out from Hamilton County, the southeastern part of that county, including Fishers. The significant rotation is south of you, but I wouldn't take any chances with this storm. If you're anywhere eastern half of Marion County, southeastern Hamilton, still please be in the safest part of your home. And this is also going to include the western and northwestern sections of Hancock County. So anywhere from downtown Indianapolis east to Greenfield, if you are watching us now, don't turn the TV off. We've got you covered, as this one seems to be wrapping up, Sean, right along and near Interstate 70.
Yeah, very close to that. Our producer's telling us, and we're still kind of 21st and Ritter tornado is what IMPD is confirming. So that's 21st and Ritter is just south of I-70. All right, just south of 70. That's going to put it near the Raytheon Intelligence Information Center. All right, if you're familiar with that area. And just to the west of the 465-70 split on the east side. Okay, so just west of there is where we're IMPD at the very least is saying. So so there's 21st.
Okay, so their report coming south of 70?
Yeah, right in this area
Okay.
here is where I'm going to take our telestrator. So that's right in this zone, close to here, 21st and Ritter.
Okay. From that zone, maybe we go out, and because we know this cell has been tracking east, so Washington Place, Warren Park, Cumberland, as I said, anywhere from downtown Indianapolis east to Greenfield, north to Fortville and Indian Lake. You need to be in the safest part of your home. New Pal will even include you just to be on the safe side, as this cell seems to be intensifying now on the east side of Indianapolis. On one side of your screen, we have live Doppler 13 radar, really our most important tool to keep you and your family safe, as we get a live scan of the latest on this cell. That we're getting reports from police that perhaps a tornado on the east side of Indianapolis, and then from our vantage point in downtown, kind of looking east, although you can't see it because the visibility is so low due to the heavy rain over downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a couple of things. So do me a favor for a moment. Let's switch to Max real quickly. I'll do a storm track with this. And if we're still getting the reports of a tornado and IMPD against, if you're just tuning in saying 21st and Ritter, I'm going to basically take that rotation and go east at about 20 miles per hour. Lawrence within 7 minutes. Now it's a wide zone, okay? It's a wide zone, but Warren Hills, you can see Spring Lake, Greenfield at 12 minutes after 5 p.m. So we're getting a new scan here very soon. And this is now IMPD, excuse me. So it's gonna be very close to the 74-65 split on the east side. Tornado in progress by last check of IMPD. You need to be in your safe areas on Indy's east side. You should have been there a long time ago. Let's get you in the safe spot until this storm can move by. Switch it to our live. We just got a new scan update here. Still seeing that hook. Looks like it's kind of almost tracking right along 70. So right in this zone is where this potential tornado could still be in progress here. All right, so safe spots as we continue to monitor this. Unfortunately, our tower cams are blocked up right now from the heavy rain. But tornado warning continues for the eastern portion of Marion County with this storm. That we've had at least one confirmed tornado from IMPD. We're going to have to wait and see if indeed we get additional confirmation from that.
Okay, so we are near 70, just south of 70, approaching the 465 loop. Yep. So near Lawrence and just south of there. Keeping in mind, those of us in Marion County, especially now the eastern half, still under a tornado warning for another 22 minutes or so, not set to expire until 4:45. And it also includes the western sections of Hancock County. So if you're watching in Mount Comfort, Cumberland, the town of Gem, so a couple of the smaller towns between downtown Indianapolis and Greenfield, you will be in the path of this, what we think is a rotating storm. And according to IMPD, tornado near 21st and Ritter, that would have put it on the east side of Indianapolis. If it is still rotating, it is going to be now near Lawrence or just south of there. If it's south of 70, Lawrence, it's going to be just barely south of you and south of Pendleton Pike. But I'd say anywhere from around the Pendleton Pike area, east side, Washington Place, this area is a real area of concern right now with the tornado warning continuing for another 20 minutes. Let's go to live Doppler 13 radar. Sean's going to do a little more analysis. That's a pretty good view, Sean, actually.
Yeah, switch it over. This is the velocity. Now, what I'm showing you is a little behind our live scan, and that's what other stations can't show you. We got the live scan up. So, yeah, I'm thinking pretty right. You know, I mentioned earlier, just a few moments ago, right along 70. I still think that's going to hold to be true here. And so, I mean, we're talking north of 70, Huber Court, East 32nd Court there, East 33rd Twin Oaks Drive, in that, roughly in that area there. Okay. And yeah, not far from Lawrence. Here comes our new scan, and so we look for that hook, and that could be potential tornado right in this zone here.
And that's
right.
going to be a more up-to-date, slightly more up-to-date than the velocity Sean just showed
Right.
you. So this is live Doppler 13 radar, and what we're focused on and is basically the eastern part of Marion County because of IMPD reporting a tornado at 21st and Ritter, and the rotation we were just on showed you that little couplet, that little tight red-green area close together. This is now live Doppler 13 radar, kind of with basically no delay, showing that rotation approaching 465. Near Lawrence and just south of Lawrence, so basically between Pendleton Pike, or if you know it better as Highway 36 and Interstate 70. Sean kind of put that little curvature arrows to show you where the hook is or that rotation, and again it is near 465 right now on the east side of Indianapolis. Hopefully you're not leaving work early. In fact, we would encourage you not to leave work early on a Wednesday afternoon. If you typically get out 4:30, 5, it's going to be best to let this storm pass us by just to not clog the roadways, as we still could be dealing with a rotating storm that is now, by latest scan, Sean, basically I-70
Yeah.
and 465.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, maybe right in that intersection there. So heads up in Mount Comfort, Lawrence, you're too close to this too, as well as Cumberland. You know, I can't say it's going to go take one exact path to the east or if it's going to go northeast. If you're in that zone, if you see your city on our map here, you need to be in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, to take your tornado precautions here, as this is on the it's east of downtown, I can tell you that. So let's check some folks off here. Meridian Hills, Spring Hills, Speedway. The rotation of this storm is to your east. Okay, so this is now an east side deal. This is Mount Comfort, Cumberland, Washington Place perhaps, and over toward Lawrence. That is the zone that we are a little concerned about with our live scan, and we're going to wait on that. Unfortunately, again, we're still kind of blocked. Our view is blocked because we've got rain, and this very well could be wrapped in rain. Unlike the one that happened in Kokomo that was captured, I've seen pictures of it, and our crews will have it. That was more of a cone-shaped tornado. This may be more shrouded in rain, a little more challenging to see perhaps. So it's not one of those deals where you might be able to just step out of your house and see this, and you really shouldn't be doing that if you're on the east side anyway. So we follow this, and we may ultimately get a new update on this if this continues to show some rotation. And I'll tell you what, gang, go ahead and show, let's flip gears. I want to do some radar analysis. We'll go from our live view to the velocity view, and that could be a little bit of rotation that we're seeing there. Tough to say if it's still ongoing. We did have a report from IMPD.
And actually, they're
about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and that's becoming a little unclear. Funnel cloud.
Funnel cloud. Is that
Okay.
from earlier or in progress, Phil? That was from earlier.
Okay.
So that was a correction. That was a funnel cloud. Okay. So.
And funnel cloud different than a tornado. Funnel cloud's suspended in the air. Tornado when it's obviously on the ground doing damage. So there is a difference between a funnel cloud and a tornado. But Sean, that's still showing really good signs of rotation.
Yeah.
Basically I-70 and 465, Lawrence, Buck Creek, Cumberland, take this storm seriously. Lowest level away from windows and doors. You may have a minute or so to get into the safe place if you haven't already. German Church, if you're familiar with that roadway that kind of intersects I-70 and then goes up toward Pendleton Pike, this area is an area to watch.
All right, so we're our producer talking to me here, Angela.
Okay,
so
then I'll take live Doppler 13 radar. How about that?
That was a confirmed from 21st and Ritter.
Okay.
Now they're saying 200 short ridge is funnel.
Funnel. Okay.
So that's to kind of delineate those two. Are there?
So if you were with us during our coverage, what was it, last Monday, oftentimes a cell will or can produce a tornado and then perhaps head back up into the cloud before it decides to produce another tornado. So it wouldn't be unheard of to have a report of a tornado and then a few miles down the road, actually it be a funnel cloud report. This is a large view to show you we still have heavy rain. This could be slowing down the evening commute. Heavy rain, lots of lightning, Indianapolis up towards Spring Hills into Meridian Hills and Lawrence. We're concerned with this little notch in the radar, and that's kind of the easiest way to describe it. Basically, along I-70, I would say I-70, 465, and Highway 40, and then east. So if you're east side of Indianapolis, anywhere east of Indianapolis to Greenfield, you need to be in the safest part of your home. We continue to track a storm with rotation. There are spotters in the area. This one approaching very closely Mount Comfort out east. In the eastern sections of Marion County, western parts of Hancock County, and this area is under a tornado warning until 4:45. And what Sean has done is given us an even closer view, basically street level, to show you where the rotation is. So here's I-70, here's 465 and basically Washington, and then east of there is where we find that little hook in the radar near East 25th, and then continuing to track east along Interstate 70. We really, you need to be in the safest part of your home, lowest level, away from windows and doors. And I'm going to step out just because I want to make sure we get these streets right. So it's 25th, Peter Court, Winchester Drive, West 150 North, Creekwater Pass. So these are obviously some neighborhood streets that are along neighborhoods along I-70 in the eastern part of Marion County, where we are still detecting rotation. This is going to be east of Warren Park, approaching Cumberland along Highway 40, Mount Comfort, Spring Lake. You will be in the path, maybe even Mohawk. So east along 70, eastern sections of Marion County, western parts of Hancock County. This is the area that we are focused on right now as we continue to track a line of severe storms across central Indiana. This was the cell that moved through Kokomo as we kind of give you a tour across central Indiana. It is now up along Interstate 69. We have crews in Kokomo and really some devastating scenes coming out of Kokomo and Howard County. We will have a complete team coverage for you beginning at 5 o'clock. But this is the line of storms that we continue to track. There's the cell that prompted the tornado warnings and what we now know was a destructive tornado that moved through Kokomo. Here is the cell that we're tracking on the north side of Indianapolis with the rotation now off to the east. This is near Cumberland. Sean?
Yep. Yeah, so we've got, we also have Nicole Nasinsic. She just tweeted she's up in Chopper 13, so they're going east. So they're going to give us a vantage point of this. I had someone tweet me video from earlier that was from the Fusix hardware along near Mass Ave looking toward the northeast, and that was definitely a funnel. That's probably what IMPD was reporting at 21st and Ritter. So now this is east side. I've put a storm track, and here's what I've noticed with this. It acts like it wants to go a little to the southeast. Okay, so if you're watching us in northern Shelby, you're watching us in northern Rush County, you need to stay with us on this one. This thing may try to turn toward the southeast just a little bit. Here are some times of arrivals at about 20-mile-per-hour storm speed. Cumberland 6 minutes from now, and Greenfield at 5:08 at that speed, so it could speed up. So, but right now we definitely are still seeing a hook on our live Doppler 13 radar that is still showing up as this tornado warning continues.